Hey guys, ANTOSS back again with a follow-up video today of the Boge F16 Cartomizer tank. There she is. Now, the reason why I'm bringing out this this video is because I am much more knowledgeable now compared to my original video. Now, my original video and opinions still stand, but there are some tips I feel like I can pass on to you now. Now, we'll start off with the drip tips, okay? Now, these Boge F16 Cartomizers are advertised to hold 510 drip tips, which they do and which they do not. So what we'll do, we'll just run over that right now. So you can see right now I have a 510 drip tip. This is a vase style, they call it. Okay, so I'll just pull that off, no problem. Okay, but if I whack a red one in, this is the same make and everything, but if I try to insert a red one here, it just, oops, it just will not fit. Okay, now the reason being would be because of the actual rubber seals themselves. You know, the black one has this you know, transparent seal, and this red one has this orange one. Now they are slightly different in sort of density, so the orange one's much harder to it's not so squishy, but this clear one is a bit more sort of flexible, so it will go in, no problem. It will go in and it'll click in, and then you can pull it out. Okay, now, but my favorite type of drip tip to use is a stainless steel one. I like how you know, the steel is very cold on your lips and then you get hot vapor. So I like the feel of these. Now, you just cannot fit this one in the Boge F16 Cartomizer. You just can't fit it in. Okay, to tell you the truth, I have actually you know, forced it in, but it was a very bad idea because when it was time to refill the tank, I found it very hard to take it out. In fact, I had to wrap this with a cloth and then get pliers and sort of pull it out. Okay, so that's something you definitely don't want to do, and I want to recommend. Okay, now the drip tip it comes with is this style here, and obviously that's going to fit in and out the best. Basically, out of all the drip tips you have, maybe 50% of them are actually going to fit in, and the other 50% they just won't, or you'll have to force it in, which means you'll have to force it out. So I don't recommend that. So that's one thing you need to sort of you know, look at, just remember before you buy these, is not all drip tips will fit in it. Okay, such as this red one. It just won't go in, okay? And some will. So, you know, it's kind of a, I guess you could call it a bit of a design flaw. But, you know, all in all, it doesn't really bother me too much because I'm not too bothered with what drip tips I use anyway. You know, some people probably have their style and they only want to use that, so you may not be able to. So that's one thing to sort of keep in mind before you buy these, okay? Now, the other thing I want to run over is the consistency of the ohms in the Boge F16 Cartomizers. Now, this has been the most apparent issue for me. Now, they are advertised to run at 1.8 ohms. Now, this just isn't the case. They're very, very inconsistent in the ohm ratings. I can actually give you a demo now. Now, this one I have filled probably about an hour ago or so. This one is full. Now, we'll just compare the two, okay? Which I haven't done yet. And I'm telling you, they're going to be different, okay? So we're going to just check the ohms on this one that I'm using now. Okay, ohms. And this is 1.9, okay, 1.9. So what I'm going to do now is just whack this one on there, and we'll see what this one's rated at. Okay, you can see that is rated at 1.7. Okay, so we've gone from 1.9 to 1.7, and I'm actually surprised that's running at, this one is running at 1.7, because from generally, I've gone through you know, a handful of these now, and generally they range from 1.8, actually about 1.9, we'll say 1.9 to 2.5. They actually range to 2.5, and that's not just the odd one. There is a lot. that are in above the 2 ohm sort of range. So you know, if you have a variable voltage mod, this isn't going to be such an issue for you, because you're able to raise and lower the power as you wish. But if you have a base model 3.7 or you're in an Ego, you know, as you replace these cartomizers, they are going to change drastically. Your vape, you know, how you vaped on one a few days ago is going to vape a bit different when you replace the card itself. So that's definitely something you need to know as well. They're not very consistent, okay? But once again, for me, this isn't such a, it's not like a deal breaker. It's just not, because I do have variable voltage. So, you know, to me, it's not a big hassle, you know, going 0.2 volts up or down. You know, it's not a big hassle for me. So, but that's definitely one thing you should also know. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is, you know, some users or members have commented to me about getting a chemical sort of taste. Now, I don't like to refer to it as a chemical taste. I do know what you're talking about, okay? I like to refer it more as a metallic kind of taste. Now, when you generally get this taste is after your initial fill. When you just get if you just buy this tank, then you just fill the cartomizer, you know, on that day. When you insert it into the tank and then fill up the liquid, yada yada yada. When you you know, vape on it, it's going to taste a bit metallic-y, or some people refer to it as a chemical sort of taste. Or I like to refer it as a metallic-y or a tinny kind of taste. Now, what this happens with most of them. What you actually need to do is basically wear them in. Okay, so you actually need to vape on these for, you know, I'm a heavy, consistent sort of vapor. So you know, these take about 4 hours to wear in for me. Then what happens is both these pre-punched holes will then, that's when they'll actually start absorbing the liquid like it's supposed to. They generally just won't sort of, you know, absorb the liquid in the tank properly at first, not for the first, you know, half a day anyway. They need to sort of, this is what I find anyway, I sort of need to vape on them, and then something happens to the polyfiller inside, which makes it absorb it a lot better. Okay, now I'm a heavy, consistent vapor, so for me it takes about 4 hours, and then the flavor comes out. Okay, but the 4 hours prior, I agree, it is a metallic-y kind of a taste, okay? But you got to give it some time, vape on it some more and more, and then eventually you'll just notice it will just change, and then you'll just get, you know, I use sweet flavors, so then you will get the sweet flavor coming up, and things like that, okay? So, you know, and if you're not a heavy, consistent vapor, it may take a whole day to wear this in, okay? Now, this happens, you know, I've got a smoke tank as well, and it's the same, it's kind of the same procedure, you know, give and take, you know, an hour or so, but they all you kind of got to wear them in a bit before you get the proper flavor, okay? Now, the other issue is I have noticed, this is, you know, on my own, I have noticed one thing about the tanks, is now if you squash this tank all the way down as far as you can to the device, okay, there is a little bit of leeway. You can see that just below the drip tip, in between the drip tip and the tank, you can actually see the cartomizer protruding, okay? Now, so there's a little bit of leeway. So if you push that all the way down, you can virtually see that there's no gap between the device and the Provari, okay? So there's very little air that can go in. So as you vape on it, you know, it's not very loud. You know, you can't really hear the airflow going in, and it's not really going in that well. It isn't. So what I suggest doing is, if you just sort of hold the drip tip there, and then just slide it up a little bit. Okay, see that? Just slide it up a little bit. Okay, you can get your own feel for it. So what it's done is actually raised you can see that gap there now. Okay, now this actually helps with the airway. I used to think it was the cartomizers, but it's actually the tank placement. Just raising the tank just that little bit definitely gives me a better vape anyway. There's much more a rush of air going in, and you can sort of hear it now. Okay. Actually, I'll do a quick demo. I'll vape on it, and then I'll squash the tank down, and then maybe you can hear the noise difference in airflow. Okay. Now, hopefully you heard that. Now, you know, once you squash it down all the way, you're getting less air, and you'll have to sort of drag on it. A lot harder to get the same sort of vapor. So I just lift it up a little bit, okay, and then you're getting the sort of airflow that I want anyway. I like a bit of airflow. Okay, so I guess that's about it, guys. Now, one thing I do want to mention is the tanks, okay? The actual Boge F16 tanks. You know, in my original video, I told you they were a grunt, and that still, in fact, that is reinforced today. Okay, these things, I have dropped them, I have stood on them, I've thrown them around, and never has one ever broken. I've barely even got a scratch. I don't even know if there is scratches on these. Nothing has gone wrong with these inserts. Okay, never has one come in or out by itself unintentionally. Okay, so you know, I'm just forcing that up in there. Now, when I was just forcing that, it was pushing against the plates left and right, but it just never comes out. And same when you push it back down, okay? I won't hold it from the bottom. You just push it down, pull it out, and never has these inserts come out, never has these tanks sort of broken, scratch, crack. They are just the best. I originally bought a handful of them, and then I rotated two. I thought, okay, I'm going to use one, then put the other one out of service while I use this one, and then I'm going to use the other one, put this one out of service. But as I've been using them, there's just no need to do that. I just use one all the time. I am so confident bringing this one out day in, day out. It's never going to break. It's never going to fail on me. Now, I'm sure one day it is, but I have been using this for, I don't know, it's been almost 3 months now. The same tank, and nothing has ever gone wrong. The O-rings are in perfect condition. It is so strong. You can whack this around, and it's just not going to break. It's really strong, guys. So, you know, now these are just sort of minor. To me, they're minor, all these things that I've just mentioned, but I feel like you should know. Now, it definitely doesn't change my original opinion with it. It is vaping like a boss. This thing is fantastic, and I still recommend you get it. There's some small issues, like you won't be able to fit all your drip tips in there. The consistency of the ohms, which also equates to the consistency of your vape, will vary from cart to cart, which is a bit unfortunate, but you know, it's fun for everyone. And you know, so you know, that's my opinion, guys. I definitely I just felt I should share that information with you, and you should definitely get these, guys. Most of you that have got them, most of you have said, you know, these are great, ANTOSS, these are great, and they are. There has been just, you know, a couple of users who have had sort of these minor issues, and that's what it is, guys. Some things you can't fix, and others that you can, okay? So, no device is kind of perfect, I guess, and but I just love this thing, guys. So, all right, I'll give it one more vape, and we'll get out of here. All right, guys, thanks for hanging with me today, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.